Woman heard strange buzzing in her wall. An expert cut it open, and they both panicked. It began as a sound, a faint, almost imperceptible buzzing, the kind of sound you might dismiss as a faulty wire or the hum of a distant appliance. But for a homeowner in Florida, the buzzing in her bedroom wall grew louder, more insistent, day by day. It was the sound of a hidden world, a secret, teeming city that was rapidly expanding just inches from where she slept. When she finally called an expert to investigate, the specialist didn't arrive with cans of poison. She arrived with a unique philosophy and an incredible skill. And when she cut open the wall, she revealed a sight so staggering, so alive, and so breathtakingly beautiful, it would turn a simple pest problem into a viral story of rescue and wonder. But before we start our story, smash that like button, make sure you're subscribed, and hit that notifications bell so you won't miss any of our new incredible stories. To understand the world that was hidden inside that bedroom wall, we must first understand one of the most complex, intelligent, and vital societies on our planet, the honeybee colony. A beehive is not just a collection of individual insects, it is a true superorganism, a single, unified consciousness made up of thousands of cooperating individuals. Every single bee works for the good of the whole, a society of perfect, selfless collaboration. At the heart of this city is a single, vital individual, the queen. Her sole purpose is to lay eggs, up to 2,000 of them a day, ensuring the colony's survival and growth. She is attended to by a small number of male bees, the drones, whose only job is to mate with a new queen. But the vast majority of the population, the true lifeblood of the hive, are the tens of thousands of sterile female worker bees. They are the builders, the soldiers, the nurses, and the foragers. They are the architects who build the perfect hexagonal wax cells of the honeycomb, a masterpiece of natural engineering. They are the nurse bees who feed and care for the developing larvae. They are the guard bees who fiercely defend the hive entrance from intruders. And they are the foragers who fly up to 5 miles from the hive, visiting millions of flowers, to collect the nectar and pollen that sustain the entire colony. They communicate the location of the best flower patches to their sisters using one of the most sophisticated forms of communication in the animal kingdom, the famous waggle dance, a complex series of movements that conveys both the distance and direction of a food source with incredible precision. But this incredible, ancient society is now facing a modern crisis. In the 21st century, honeybee populations around the world are in a state of catastrophic decline. A mysterious phenomenon known as colony collapse disorder, combined with the widespread use of pesticides and the loss of natural habitat, is causing entire colonies to vanish. This is not just a tragedy for the bees. It is a potential catastrophe for humanity. Honeybees are our most important pollinators, responsible for pollinating roughly 1/3 of the food we eat, from almonds and apples to broccoli and blueberries. Without them, our entire agricultural system would be at risk. This global crisis has created a new kind of hero, the professional beekeeper who specializes not in extermination but in the live, humane removal and relocation of unwanted hives. It is a job that requires immense skill, patience, and a deep, almost spiritual understanding of the bees themselves. And one of the most famous of these bee whisperers is the protagonist of our story. Our story begins in the sunny, subtropical climate of St. Petersburg, Florida, in the home of a woman who had become increasingly alarmed by the strange sound in her wall. The buzzing had grown so loud that it was now a constant presence in her home. She knew she had a bee problem, but the thought of simply killing these vital and struggling creatures felt wrong. She called Elisha Bixler, a local beekeeper famous for her gentle and humane approach to bee removal. When Elisha arrived at the house, she was calm and methodical. She listened to the homeowner's story and then went to the bedroom where the buzzing was loudest. She placed her ear against the wall and stood silently for a long moment, listening. Then she brought out one of her most important tools, a thermal imaging camera. This device allows her to see heat signatures through the wall. As she pointed it at the wall, a massive, glowing, and vibrant shape appeared. On her screen, It was a colossal heat signature, a clear sign that a huge, densely populated, and very active bee colony was living just behind the drywall. The homeowner stared at the glowing image, her jaw dropping as she began to understand the true scale of the secret world her house was hiding. Elisha explained that the only way to save the bees and safely remove the hive was to cut a large section out of the bedroom wall. As Elisha Bixler carefully cut away the final section of drywall and lifted it from the wall, a breathtaking and almost unbelievable sight was revealed. It was a city of wax and honey, a sprawling, multi-layered honeycomb that was over 7 feet tall. The homeowner stared, completely speechless. This was not a nest, it was a secret metropolis, a hidden kingdom that had been thriving, completely unseen, just inches from where she slept every night. Faced with a roaring defensive swarm of 40,000 bees, most people would be running in the opposite direction, but Elisha Bixler is not most people. This is where her unique skill as a bee whisperer comes into play. Bees are not naturally aggressive creatures, they are defensive. They attack when they perceive a threat to their queen and their colony. When a bee stings, it releases an alarm pheromone, a chemical signal that tells its sisters to attack the same target. Elisha believes that the fear and jerky movements of a nervous person or the clumsy fumbling of a thick bee suit which can accidentally crush bees are what triggers this defensive cascade. She believes the bees can sense her calm energy and her lack of fear, and therefore they do not see her as a threat. The first and most critical step in any live bee removal is to find and secure the queen. The queen is the heart, the soul, and the singular reproductive engine of the entire colony. All the other 40,000 bees in that wall were her daughters. Their entire social structure is built around her. Where the queen goes, the colony will follow. So, for the next hour, in the face of a buzzing, living wall of stinging insects, Elisha began her painstaking search. With her bare hands, she would gently scoop away handfuls of bees, scanning the writhing mass for the one bee that is slightly longer and larger than the others. Finally, she found her. She carefully picked up the queen and placed her in a small, secure plastic clip. The first and most important part of the mission was a success. With the queen secured, the next step was to save the hive itself. She began to carefully cut away the massive sections of honeycomb. This was a delicate operation. The comb was not just filled with honey, it was also the colony's nursery, containing thousands of cells of brood, the eggs, larvae, and pupae that represent the next generation of bees. This brood is the most valuable part of the colony, and saving it was crucial. One by one, Elisha cut out the large sections of brood comb and carefully attached them with rubber bands into new wooden frames from a standard beekeeper's hive box. The final step was to gather the remaining tens of thousands of worker bees. To do this, she used a specialized low-suction bee vacuum to gently collect the majority of the bees from the wall cavity without harming them. With the queen and all their precious brood and honey now inside the new box, the remaining forager bees, returning from the fields, would be naturally drawn to the scent of their own colony and would march willingly into their new home. After several hours of intense, focused work, the wall was empty. The entire colony, all 40,000 of them, were safely contained, ready for a new life. The colony was transported to a local apiary, a bee farm where they could continue their vital work of pollinating and making honey in a safe and healthy environment. Back at the house, the homeowner was left with a large hole in her wall, but also with a profound sense of awe. Her simple pest problem had been transformed into an incredible rescue mission, a rare and beautiful glimpse into one of nature's most perfect and complex societies. The story of the bees in the wall is a powerful reminder that we share our world and even our homes with countless other living beings, and that their hidden worlds are often far more complex and beautiful than we could ever imagine. It is a testament to the importance of choosing conservation over extermination, and to the incredible, quiet courage of a woman who is not afraid to walk calmly into the heart of the swarm.